Alright, we've got our first official piece of gameplay from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's a very quick snippet, but it does answer quite a few questions based on some of the stuff we've seen in the trailer and some of the PlayStation blog questions that were answered in riddle format by Nomura. So if any of that sounds cool to you, feel free to click the like button, and in honor of Cloud and Sephiroth in that calm flashback, let's smash the subscribe button with a double helix synergy attack. Show that button who is boss. So before we get to the gameplay clip, I just want to say thank you to everyone who wrote in on my breakdown video letting me know who one of the creatures was that we saw. So for a very brief second, we saw a summon in between Alexander and Odin in the latest Rebirth trailer, and I couldn't figure out who it was. So I thought, is this a new summon? Is this, something I'm forgetting? And everyone wrote in saying, it's Kujata. It's Kujata, you idiot. And I had completely forgotten about the Kujata summon in the original Final Fantasy VII, the bull summon that shows up. So clearly, I am a fake Final Fantasy VII fan. You're going to have to revoke my fan card and cast me into oblivion. But thank you to everyone who wrote in clarifying who that was. It's kind of strange that none of the blogs focused on Kujata. It was always Alexander and Odin. And for those who missed my breakdown video, I did announce there that I will be doing a full playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth here on my YouTube channel, as if anybody's gonna care. But when the game comes out, I'm gonna play through the entire thing instead of reviewing it. We're gonna have like a 800-part series on Rebirth of just playing the game, honest reactions and emotions, just having some fun. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can subscribe and stick around for that. So I hope I can get that first part up a couple of days after the game comes out. So it should be a ton of fun. But now that that's out of the way, let's get to this gameplay clip. So this clip comes to us directly from the Square Enix YouTube channel, and it's about 8 to 10 seconds long, and it's included in a clip preview package for their Tokyo Game Show live stream that's going to take place on Friday morning. Now, based on what they're showing us here, their Friday presentation in the morning is going to be exactly how it was last year. Basically a 2-hour variety block with a bunch of Square Enix hosts that come in and they play a bunch of games that were shown off at this year's TGS. And then later that night, we're going to have the actual Rebirth panel where they're going to showcase more gameplay, talk to Kitase and everyone. So technically, this panel in the morning, this show, is going to be our first gameplay look at Rebirth. So it'll be pretty exciting to check out some of the stuff that comes out there, but then get more info later that night. Now, the big question that this clip answers first and foremost is that, yeah, it looks like Sephiroth will in fact be playable. So if you look at the left-hand side of the screen, all of the tutorial stuff is there. And while I don't read Japanese, I think it's pretty clear that it's showcasing that you can use the D-pad to switch between characters, i.e. Cloud and Sephiroth. So this is something that myself and a lot of people speculated on, that perhaps the opening of the game will be that calm flashback with Cloud and Sephiroth. It's really the perfect vehicle to open up that game and use as a tutorial, show people how you play the game, give people a refresher who haven't played Rebirth since it came out, really hammer home how the abilities work and how materia works, but most importantly, those brand new synergy attacks. So it's the perfect way to open up the game in terms of gameplay and story, and I'm super excited that this kind of really confirms that when you really think about it. But also in the clip, Cloud and Sephiroth are fighting the zoo creature from the original Final Fantasy games, those big old bird chickens that cast tornado on you. They were kind of a nuisance. And it really looks like this opening of the game, this calm flashback, is going to be expanded by quite a bit. So we might have the first hour of the game, maybe 30 minutes, devoted to Cloud and Sephiroth in this flashback. Now, Audrey does have a slight breakdown in translation of some of the things that we're seeing here on screen, but it's important to keep in mind that Japanese to English translation is still going to be very different than American localization. So, for example, here in this footage, triangle in the Japanese version is brave mode for Cloud, but obviously we know here in America it's Punisher and Operator, unless Cloud has a completely different skill set at the beginning of the game with this flashback. She also says that it showcases two in particular combo chain attacks, Void Break break and counter shoot. And in it we can see Cloud kind of rear back, charging up his attack, and then he slashes forward while Sephiroth casts a spell. And in the chain menu option, which here in America in the English version is obviously the abilities section, we can see the two team up attacks, the synergy attacks between Cloud and Sephiroth, and the buttons that they're mapped to. Now, interestingly enough, the lower right hand section of the screen is kind of blocked by the 7 Rebirth logo, so we can't see all of the character info bar, but those little pips that are supposed to represent the synergy attacks are not there for Cloud or Sephiroth. So it might be a situation where in the opening hours of the game during that tutorial with Cloud and Sephiroth, you might get free reign to use those synergy attacks as much as you want without worrying, at least right off the bat, about having to charge them up. And it's a really great way to get people familiar again with those attacks and how they're going to work and really how cool they're going to be. And also looking at that attack from Cloud, it seems to do an amazing amount of stagger damage. It damn near fills up the bar 100% almost. So we're going to be very overpowered in the opening hours of the game. At least Sephiroth will definitely be. It might be a situation where Cloud's a little bit weaker but still stronger than how our party is going to start off after that flashback takes place. So this is really exciting. Again, it's just a very brief snippet of some gameplay. There will be those 2 demos playable at Tokyo Game Show, the opening calm flashback with Cloud and Sephiroth, and then the second one's going to be exploration stuff at Junon. So there's no word on whether or not they're going to release these to everyone. This might be locked exclusively to Tokyo Game Show, but I would expect a ton of outlets to cover these demos, upload them to their channel, and then maybe a couple of months from now, in December or January, is when we will get our first real universal playable demo, which will most likely be the Cloud and Sephiroth stuff. So this is super exciting. Tokyo Game Show, it's always fun every year, and Square Enix tends to release things throughout the week in regards to their games. That's how they did it last year with Crisis Core, and it's pretty crazy to think about last year in particular, because that's when my channel really started to find its groove, and I started to cover Crisis Core consistently. I think I might have been one of the few channels out there that kept covering Crisis Core every single week, which is kind of how I started to build my channel. So it's pretty cool to see, you know, where I was a year ago to compare to now. We're still at Tokyo Game Show talking about Final Fantasy VII. This is exciting. I can't wait for that Friday night panel to get more in-depth gameplay, and I hope that maybe there are going to be some language options available for that TGS panel, so hopefully it's not just all in Japanese. Maybe there'll be an English interpreter, but based on how their 2019 presentation went, it's all going to be in Japanese. So with that being said, I'm Curious Corduroy. That is the video. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think of this very brief footage of Cloud and Sephiroth in battle together, and are you excited to see the game potentially open up with this calm flashback? I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to always be excellent to one another.